fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Tennessee Titans and the New Orleans Saints. That's fielded in the end zone. Ooh, with a juke. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. They'll run it now out of the gun. And now running right through it. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 16 yards right off the bat and a first down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
On 1st and 10, Welch. And that is incomplete here.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Now the first carry for Ronald Jones. Dances by him. And he'll get this up past the 45 to the 47. They get 6 here after the incompletion, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 4.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
From the gun on 3rd down. Welch eluding the pressure right. He can run for it, and he will. And he's out of bounds as he gets this down to the 45. Give him 7 on the tuck and run, and it'll get him a new set of downs.
That's something you have to be aware of as a defense and have to find a way to account for him. And if you're not going to use a spy, you're telling your guys to keep your eyes on him, because when he breaks out and makes plays like that, all he does is hurt you.
Have to at least be able to contain him somewhat. There they could not.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19. 3-19. Back 99 Philly, here we go.
Now a first down carry by Jones. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
On 2nd down, it's Jones. Jones breaking from the contact. That's a first down pickup for Tennessee on a gain of 10. Couple of nice carries back-to-back here, establishing the ground game a bit.
Yeah, these aren't bare-bones runs now. I mean, they're getting substantial yardage, the kind of yards you're looking for, right? Let's go ahead and use a cliche. Stay ahead of the change, right? 5 or more yards each time, that's what you're looking for in setting a tone and getting your offensive line going.
Good sign on the opening drive.
Gun!
On first down, Welch. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit, Ball pops out, incomplete.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
Line of scrimmage, the 31, as they line up 2nd and 10.
Set. P19. P19.
Throwing again. Welch. A dump underneath to Jones. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. The Titans get 14 yards there and move the chains as well. They're piecing together a nice drive to start this one. Seems pretty scripted and pretty successful so far.
And I think they did it without our help. Because you remember when we sat in the production meeting with them to talk about this, and, hey, you know, how you guys going to come out of the gate? I know I offered my help with a few plays, and they didn't seem to want it.
I didn't offer mine.
You know, you were the smart one. Whatever they're doing, though, it's working really well.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Alex Okafor in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year. So after the sack, here's 2nd and 14.
Detroit! 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 Gun! 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 Gun!
From the gun, Welch. Flush to his right. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
They're bringing a lot of pressure here already in the first quarter. Already sacked him once. Now they get in there and knock another one away. I think maybe that Tucker rule being gone makes defenses a lot bolder.
Yes, indeed. That time, lucky that the arm was going forward. Incomplete pass. Flushed out right. And, he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a 1st down. So now then the penalty's got him set up with a 1st and goal.
Gun! 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 Gun!
Operating from the gun. Welch forced out to his left. His pass caught at the 4. And he'll get this down inside the 5 to the 4 before he's out of bounds. That's good for a gain of 6, 2nd and goal. One back in the game. That's Jones, 2nd and goal. Looking to throw. Welch. Escaping the pressure right. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
We talk all the time about playmakers on offense, but let's face it, there are plenty of playmakers on defense, too. I think we just saw an example of one, didn't we? Not force that incompletion.
Yeah, he's a great corner. They got a couple of them on that side of the football. The crowd here in the Dome making things difficult. 3rd and goal.
Detroit! Detroit!
From the gun, Welch. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Cameron Jordan in there to get him, and that is sack number 15 for him on the year. So on 4th down, here's the Tennessee field goal unit led by Ryan Suckup. This just a 35-yard attempt from the left hash. And Suckup will put this one right through, and the Titans hit the scoreboard first. It's 3-0. So they get the field goal, but that was a 14-play drive to get 3.
You sound like you're going negative on me,
I was.
It sounds like you're thinking the 3's just not that good.
And people say that we're negative sometimes. So,
well, here's the deal. Getting the 3 is good. Obviously, you would think on a 14-play drive you're going to get 6 out of it. But that type of a drive can pay dividends later on because you might wear the defense down.
And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. So Brees going to lead the Saints up here, 1st and 10 at their own 27. They'll run it for the first time with Alvin Kamara. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
All right, Brandon, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
Off the play fake to Kamara, it's Brees. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
3rd and long now after the sack of Brees, and the Saints up against it here. From the gun, it's Brees. And that's caught by Smith. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. A gain of 19 and picking up the first. When you give up points on the opening drive, in this case a field goal, you'd hate to go 3 and out. They avoid that.
They do, and it's also walking that fine line mentally, too, as a coach, isn't it? Because you want to emphasize to your team exactly what you said. All right, we gave up a field goal. Let's go back and at least equal that, guys. But if we don't, you don't want them to feel like it's the end of the world either. Nice that they were able to pick up the first.
That's caught at the 25. And he will finally be taken out of bounds. A big play. Brees finding Thomas. 43 yards. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. And they'll go backwards here, losing yardage to the 14. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. On 2nd down, Kamara. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it 3rd down.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
So now at 3rd and 7, and defensively, it's a dime look. 6 DBs. Now Brees. And just as you called it after the earlier sack, they set up the screen. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 10-yard line. And the first play will be a field goal try. And Lutz's kick is good. And that will tie us at 3-3. So matching field goals on our opening 2 drives.
Yeah, it feels like 2 boxers feeling each other out here in the early going of the game, right? Exchanging some jabs, but none of the heavy stuff just yet.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. And the Titans getting set to go. And a methodical drive last time, but they couldn't get that knockout blow. They had to settle for 3.
But you got to like what they've been doing along the way, right? It's almost like the body blows, the setup punch. As you said, they didn't get the knockout blow here, but that doesn't mean it can't come later in the game on another possession. And the defense on the other side,
maybe a little gas,
yeah,
right?
A little tired. And if nothing else, they just feel relieved getting upfield and giving up 3. They don't exactly feel like they've handled the offense.
Demario Davis there on the stop. I think you mentioned in the opening drive that these guys needed to establish the run, protect the young QB. I actually wrote that down, believe it or not. So how would you assess things so far?
I'm kind of touched that you actually wrote something like that down. I appreciate that, partner. But I do think they've been able to do that. Maybe not as effectively as they've wanted to, but I think we'll see more of as this game goes along because they want to continue to take care of that young QB.
Throw left side, complete to Sharp. 13 yards on his first catch. It's a first down as well.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people have to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
Throwing on first down. Welch. Eluding the pressure right, and it's incomplete.
They certainly thought they had him surrounded and probably thought they were going to get him on the ground and get the sack, but he was able to elude that. And even though it threw it incomplete downfield, if you're a defensive back, you're loving the pressure that you're seeing from your front.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. To throw again. Welch. It's caught on the right side at Smith. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. The Titans on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 7.
Detroit!
Operating from the gun. Welch. Got a man. It's Ross. Complete. And he's taken down inside the 30. First catch so far for the man who led the NFL coming into the weekend. He's got a first down. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
This quarterback now 5 out of 10, 50% throwing it. Not so hot, but he does have a first down.
Detroit!
Back to throw. Welch. Flush to his right. Got a man right side. It's Sharp. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders. Hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Welch. Flushed out right. And that's incomplete.
Well, I like that right there. Not only was it the right play, throwing it away like that, frankly, I think it was the only play.
Yeah, got outside of the pocket, realized he had nothing, just chucked it free.
Yeah, live to fight another down, right?
The Titans on 3rd down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. Off the play fake. Welch. Buying time to his left. And this is going to be incomplete. So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. He hit his first. Now this from 43. And Suckup will put this one right through. And they will take the lead here in this battle of field goals at 6-3. So we're trading first-half field goals. No breakthrough on the touchdown front. We got a 6-3 game.
Yeah, and I know so many people look at a game through offensive eyes, right? They want to see how the game's played that way. You know how I'm going to view it, right? The defenses, to me, have responded well in this game. Like what I'm seeing from them, both of them hoping to keep it to field goals and not give up big touchdowns.
Now the Saints, they trot their offense out here. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Oh, look at Thomas wide open. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A gain of 39 that time.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
On first down, Breeze. And Josh Hill has it. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10.
We got three. Ready? You ready?
They'll run it now out of the gun. And out of bounds right around the 20. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Breeze leaves this one with Kamara. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go. Breeze going to try and throw on 3rd down. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 16. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive. Breeze going to come up here, 1st and 10. And he's a perfect 6 for 6 here to start the ball game.
Ready? You ready?
Again, this is Kamara. He will push his way down to about the 14. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
That's it, baby. Here we go.
2 minutes to play here in the first half. We're back to New Orleans after this. Now Breeze throwing on 2nd down. Eight yards that time, able to take off, and the result is a first down.
Well, he did a nice job keeping his eyes downfield, waiting for someone to get open. But once the pressure forced his eyes down to see the rush, it was time to make a break for it.
So it's 1st and goal and a great opportunity to get that lead back before the break.
Ready? You ready?
Shotgun now for Breeze. On the check down, he finds Kamara. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. Only a yard on the completion. It's 2nd and goal.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
And just one man in the backfield here. That's Kamara, 2nd and goal.
4 down, 4 down. Ready. Yellow waiting, yellow waiting. Ready, what's that?
They get it to him running left. Call it a gain of a yard as they get a little bit closer here. It's 3rd and goal. This is kind of one of those in-between plays here, Charles, on 3rd and goal from the 2 or the 3 in that area. What do you dial up?
Something quick hitting. You don't have the time for something that develops slowly. It's got to be right at them if you're going to run the football. And if you're going to throw it, something quick, get it out of your hands in a hurry.
This Titan defense, they just will not give in easily. Looking for another stop, 3rd and goal. They'll try to run it in. It's Kamara. And he maybe makes it back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. No gain on the play that time. So a big stop, and it's going to leave him with a 4th and goal. So out comes the field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. From the right hash, and this one just a chip it. And Lutz puts this one through. And that will tie things up as we head toward halftime. So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone, get you 6?
Out come the Titans now. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them want to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you've met fan bases that wanted that. They weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
The drive starting with a 1st down, 11 yards on that pickup. Looking to throw. Welch steps away to his left. Uncorks one for Davis. Got a man. It's caught inside the 10. Touchdown, Titans. A big play there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Titans get the quick strike touchdown. Extra point put through by Suckup. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Now the Saints offense, they get ready to go back to work here. And with time quickly fading here in the 2nd quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
A little over 20 seconds remaining in the half as they'll line up here 1st and 10.
Ready. You waiting? Got it. Over.
Breeze now on 1st down. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the safety, Kenny Vaccaro.
Watch him now, Barney. Barney.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Might have gotten this one down to the 28, and that's all. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the 2nd quarter. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. And this will be a 45-yard attempt. And Suckup will put this one right through. So we reach halftime here with the visiting Titans taking the lead into intermission. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or two shy of the 30. Out come the Saints now. They'll go on offense first here to begin the third quarter. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. This is caught inside the 15. Touchdown, New Orleans. Cameron Meredith, his second touchdown on the season. And the Saints are back within a score. Well, they had their chances in the first half, you remember, but had to settle for 2 field goals. This time they come away with 6.
I think they actually got affirmation about what they were doing by getting a touchdown, because the field goals means they got in range but couldn't quite finish it off. This time they broke through, and that's great for the old confidence.
And on the sideline, difference of a feeling between 3 and 6, is it astronomical or no?
It can be at times, that's for sure. A lot of times the field goal feels like a disappointment. The touchdown, well, that tells you you're getting it done.
The Titans offense gears up for their first possession of the second half.
Now let's go. Green 39. Green 39. Detroit. Detroit.
On 1st and 10, Welch being chased out left. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock Dalvin away and bring up second down.
From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10.
Detroit. Detroit.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Welch. And that is incomplete.
So many qualities coaches tick off when they talk about, hey, what is it going to take to make an excellent quarterback? Accuracy has to rank near the top of every list.
Talk about arm strength, that's great. Mobility, great. But you need that accuracy in there. That one well in front of his man.
Yeah, now they got to face a big third down.
Gone, gone. Gone, gone. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
On 3rd down, Welch. Throw left side, complete to Ross. And all the way down to the 29. It's a big play there for Tennessee. 47 yards. Great patience in the pocket. Of course, it's easy to be patient when the protection's good, and it was.
Yeah, you got to pat those guys on the helmet and say thanks, because they gave him plenty of time to stay back there, survey the field, go through the reads that he wanted to, and deliver the ball accurately. That was really well executed.
And he's going to be taken down back around the 35-yard line. Cameron Jordan in there to drop him, and he continues to wreak havoc in offensive backfield. Sack number 16 on the year. So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. Back to throw. Welch dancing to his left. Drops it to Jones in the flat. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. They'll wind up getting 10 back there, as it'll leave them with a 3rd and 5.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
The Titans on 3rd down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This will be 3rd and 5. They'll try the option right here on third down. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. And a loss of 3 to bring up fourth. He already has 2 sacks to his credit. Now another tackle for loss.
And you know how you can always identify who was supposed to block him? They're the ones helping up the person who just got knocked to the ground with the ball, right? Whether it's a running play or a pass play, they've got to figure out a way to slow him down. Maybe you chip him with a second guy. Maybe you just out-and-out double him. Maybe you make sure you take the ball and throw it as far away from him as possible. Because right now, he is wrecking things for them.
21. 36. 12. 30%.
Throwing on first down is Breeze. Pressure comes, and the Titans able to bring him down.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. They'll run it now out of the gun. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
On third and long, it's Breeze. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on third down. This home crowd, they're happy with that call.
I like the way you said happy there, right? The so-called good guys didn't get a call. They feel like it's been that way all afternoon. You feeling their pain?
They finally got one.
Yes, they did.
21. Hey, two.
They go play action here on first down. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. A really good pickup of 28 yards. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
Well, that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
Hey, easy.
Breeze on the draw, gives to Kamara. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
To throw is Breeze. Drops this off to Kamara out of the backfield. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. But that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
Now Breeze. And he's going to be taken down back around the 35-yard line.
We've watched this a long time, and I still don't believe we get it. 3rd and long, why are you calling play action?
Because they're not going to bite defensively, right?
No, not at all. I did have a coach explain to me years ago that for some teams, that's how they have to deal with pass protection and their line blocking. But to me, it seems silly.
Yeah, well, they're silly, and that leads to a play action sack. So distance not the issue there. He had plenty of leg to get it there. It's that darn upright getting in the way.
Always gets in the way of a good time, doesn't it? Because he hit it square, too. Sometimes you can bank one in if you get it on the end of the football. No such luck there for him.
And because they couldn't hit the long field goal, they are set up nicely offensively at the 41, 1st and 10.
Now let's go. Green 39. Green 39. Detroit. All right, now lucky 56. Lucky 56.
From the gun, Welch fighting through pressure. Forced out to his left. Buying time to his left. He's got his man Sharp complete. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down.
Lucky 56. Detroit! Detroit! All right, now, Lucky 56. Lucky 56. All right, now, Lucky 56. Lucky 56.
On first down, Welch. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But it looked like the Titans were able to recover, and indeed, they will keep possession of the ball.
On plays like this, where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack.
Detroit! Detroit! Gone! 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 Gone!
Looking to throw. Welch. And the pressure gets to him again. Alex Anzalone in there to get him for a loss of a yard, and it'll bring up 3rd down. Really in a hole here, 3rd and 17 following the 2 negative plays. Operating from the gun, Welch. Escaping the pressure right. And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose. And they'll set up shop in enemy territory at the 45-yard line.
Well, that's a down and distance coaches always talk about trying to avoid, isn't it? I mean, that's 3rd and long. And you just know they're pinning their ears back and coming after him. Sometimes even with extra pressure.
And he knew that. I mean, he knew they were coming. He just fumbled it.
Yeah, he knew it. The offensive line knew it. Everyone did. Yet the pressure was still there, and he ended up coughing it up.
Now after the fumble recovery, it's Breeze. Throw left side, taken in by Hill. And he's got this down to the 35. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Ready. Yellow waiting.
Back now here live in New Orleans. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the 4th quarter. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch.
Ready. Yellow waiting.
Breeze now on 1st down. That's out to Hill, right side complete. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
That 1st down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7.
Ready. We're waiting.
Working from the gun, it's Breeze. Throwing right, and that's complete. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling him almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by the USC man, Adoree Jackson. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Well, when you start thinking of guys that are in the mix for Defensive Player of the Year, I think you use him as Exhibit A. Maybe he's not the leading guy right now, but he's at least on the periphery and deserves to be in the discussion.
And because of that, he's looking at a game today where in order to make that big move and maybe become the guy, he needs multiple takeaways, multiple big plays, things that get our attention and reverberate for weeks to come.
And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. Jones. And tough going there as he'll only get it up to about the 31. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
To throw on 2nd down. Welch. Over the middle, that's caught by Ross. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. 13 yards as the quick slant keeps the drive moving. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
A give to Jones. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13.
Lucky 56. Gone. Detroit.
From the gun, Welch. Open man right side is Ingram. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. Hey, it kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
Couple of plays sent them the wrong way, and now they face a 3rd and 14.
Detroit!
Operating from the gun, Welch. Steps, and he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Trey Hendrickson in there with pressure yet again, and that's the 7th time they've dropped him here this afternoon. Here's Brett Kern now. And surprisingly, this is the first punt of the game for either team. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. And no return here. This one's going inside the 15 to the 12-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
And he's going to go down. Back at his own 5-yard line, it's a sack. Jurrell Casey in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17.
Ready. We're waiting.
From the gun, it's Breeze. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up third down. Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is third and long.
Ready? We waiting?
To throw, it's Breeze. And that is incomplete.
There's definitely contact there, but it's the fourth quarter of a kind of tight game, and sometimes the officials just say, let them play. Kind of like your mom used to with you and your brothers. Just take the broom to you and send you out to the backyard and tell you to settle it yourselves.
I like that, yeah. There was contact. I don't know, like you said, enough to warrant the flag. It was close, though. That's taken it around the 40. Still going. Now he lost the football.
And that's what friends are for.
As the returner, you know who you're buying dinner for later.
Oh, without a doubt, because he just took care of you and your team in a big way. You know, you turned it over there. That's a big momentum changer and put your defense in a bad spot.
The give is to Jones. Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. Now a timeout being called as there's an injured Titan down on the field. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. And on the ground they go with the running back. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. He lost 4 there, and it's third down. I think you'd have to say defensively, these guys are doing their job pretty well, right?
Yeah, we talked about them holding them under 20 points, right, on defense. And they've done that. They've held them. The problem is their own offense hasn't answered their challenge, which was to score more.
Yeah, exactly. I remember you saying magic number was right around 20, and the offense has been the issue. You're right. Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is third and long.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Off play action. Welch. He'll buy some time right. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything to warrant the flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they'd feel a whole lot better about their position.
On a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. And now the Saints get set to trot out there. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Ready? You ready?
They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. Give them 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give them a first down.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
You ready?
Staying on the ground on 1st with Kamara. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on first down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
Back to throw. They'll set up the screen now to Kamara. And he'll get it down here to the 43. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains.
Okay, there's 3 timeouts left, right?
Think you got to use one here, don't you?
No doubt about it. I'd use one right here.
Back to throw. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. 4 yards on the pickup, and it'll make it a second down.
Was that a receiver? Yeah, actually it was. It was a running back who was a receiver on the play. I think he's been spending time in the receiver drills getting his feet down.
Well, those guys out of the backfield, they got to be good, agile with their feet. He showed the agility there with a toe tap.
No doubt about it. It's like he'd went to ballet school. Got the toes down and stayed in bounds.
Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. These are the spots, this stage of the game, where it pays to have speed on the perimeter, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and in the second quarter, he may very well run by him, but in this situation, I know as a defender, I'm loosening up a couple of extra steps that allowed him to run with him stride for stride.
He'll look to throw. Now a desperation throw, deep depth. Got a man, it's caught inside the 10. Touchdown, New Orleans. Michael Thomas with time running out. And the Saints can take the lead if they can hit the extra point. So they're not home yet. Still a critical extra point here to break the tie. A very important extra point there, up and good, and that is going to put them on top by a point, and it sets us up for quite a finish. Morstead, the punter, out to kick it off. The Titans offense now, they work their way back onto the field. They only need a field goal. Obviously, the clock a huge factor. They'll be watching that. What do they need to do here, Charles?
Your sequence of plays has to get you out of bounds. Completions, get out of bounds, gain some yardage. Then when the clock hits 7 seconds or left, now you get a decision. Are you in field goal range, or is it Hail Mary time? Because from 7 seconds down, you don't want to take a shot that you're going to have another play.
We'll see how they handle it. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Demario Davis. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line.
And that one, it's going to hurt big time. You're in the 2-minute drill trying to get your guys down the field, and it's looking like they're going to go up just short, as this is definitely not his best throw. And it'll wind up being intercepted.
Ready?
Now a handoff. Here's Kamara. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. And the Titans going to signal for a timeout defensively, as the clock will stop with 18 seconds remaining. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
Ready? Waiting.
They run it again with Kamara. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. Now another timeout here called by the Titans, as they'll stop it with 13 seconds left to play. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long.
Ready? We're waiting.
On 3rd down, here's Kamara. And he gets it down to the 32. And whistles, and they take their final timeout with 7 seconds left. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This is a 49-yard attempt, right hash. And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. It's what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
Here's the Titan offense now as they make their way back onto the field. They have time here, partner, for just one final heave.
And I have to look at it from the defense's perspective here. We know what they're going to do on offense. The Hail Mary, try and get guys down there and throw it in the end zone, tip it around and catch it. You've got to have guys back there to defend that, but also you can't allow the quarterback as much time.
And he's taken down here by the Saints. Well, we saw a close game that kept us on the edge of our seats down to that final whistle. And right before that final whistle, defense with one last exclamation mark there, getting the sack to end it.
I love how you phrased it because we were waiting to see what would happen. Obviously, we thought something would happen downfield. Instead, it happens in the offensive backfield, and that's your ball game.
So for New Orleans, they remain in the hunt for a first-round bye as they move to 11-3 on the year. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Meanwhile, for the Titans, this was basically just an exhibition game for them as they'd already clinched home field advantage. And they'll get a home date next week against the Kansas City Chiefs. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.